Welcome back to another episode of Sybil After Six. I am so excited to be joined by another fabulous entrepreneur, woman of faith, Wendy Hatton. Hi, Wendy. How are you this evening?
Hi, Sybil. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. So, fun fact, Wendy and I have been trying to get together now. I don't know, was this like May or June?
I think it's June.
Has it been that long since we've been trying to?
I think so.
Oh
So,
my gosh. So I'm so glad to finally that our schedules align, our calendars align. No one is sick. I'm pointing at myself. But Wendy is the founder of LinkedIn Prosperity LLC. And a fun fact that I loved in your bio, and I would want you to talk a little bit more about this, is you used to be in the Fairfax Symphony Orchestra. So I love talking to fellow musicians. Obviously, I have Lumiere in the background, but tell us a little bit more about the work that you are doing today, and then we'll kind of do a walk through history.
oh, excellent. Okay. Well, first thing, you mentioned LinkedIn prosperity, but it's actually linked prosperity without the N.
Please,
That was kind of
prosperity.
a word, a play on the on LinkedIn word, because at the time when I created it, I was a LinkedIn coach. And so I was helping people upgrade their profiles and then help them learn how to create relationships and authentic business relationships with people through LinkedIn. Well, I still do that, but it's kind of on the side right now. When people ask me about it, I help them with it. But I do have one main thing that I'm actually doing, which it falls along the same lines of it, but I help entrepreneurs, professionals, local business owners to increase their profitability. That's the main thing, and this is and that's without needing to use marketing or advertising. So there are these strategies that people can implement that they're not strategies that people have never heard of, but it was like created in a way. So there are 12 of them. And well, let's say one of them is cutting costs. Everybody's heard that, right?
Right, right.
Yeah, that doesn't involve any marketing or advertising. And then let's see, another one is bundling, bundling your offers. So
Right.
there are 12 of these types of strategies that people can implement and increase their profitability from where they are now to where they will be in the next 6 months, 6 or 12 months. And
Okay.
I have a software called the Profit Acceleration software where I ask people their numbers, like they give me their gross and net profits, the annual, and then ask them certain questions around the different areas, around the 12 areas, and whatever their answer is, the software it calculates how they would be if they, let's say, cutting costs. Let's say that's one of the things. So they're going to ask a few questions around that area. And then at the end of the questions, it says, so if you did this strategy for, say, 6 to 12 months, how would that impact your current business? Like in percentages, how would that impact your results? And so a lot of times they say, oh, probably 30 or 40%. And so I say, no, let's back it up a little bit. Let's be conservative here. How about like 3 or 4%? And so what that means is they're going to be growing their profitability that way, just the small incremental way. And then they start on another strategy on top of that. And so it's called compound growth. You've heard of that before. So once you cut all your costs, then you're working on the next one. So that immediately, cutting your costs immediately increases your profitability. And then you're working on something else, and that's going to increase it even more. So it's kind of like that old saying is if you double a penny every day
Yep.
for 30 days and you end up being a multimillionaire.
Yes.
That's kind of the concept of this whole process. So I really enjoy helping people realizing what really I can just do this little thing and that will increase my profits that way. So that's and LinkedIn is part of that too, because building relationships on that platform helps them meet referral partners or maybe even clients, but people who can help you grow your profitability as well. So.
Amazing. So I wrote down a couple of things. Like number one, um, and I tell people all the time, right? Like nobody can really tell you what will work for your business. Like it is not until you really get inside which strategy to see which one of those 12 or which combination might
Hmm.
work because each business really does require something different depending on what stage they're in. But number two, business waste, I think is such a huge topic and not a lot of people really have enough to say about it. So, when you think about cost cutting, what are some really key areas of business waste that you see repeatedly again and again that immediately the audience can say, oh, you know what? You're absolutely correct. Or I didn't think about this. Like just two or three.
Oh gosh. Okay, so one of the top ones is so I have people go into their bank account for 3 months back and look at all the different transactions that you have made, like subscriptions to things or different even trainings that you're not even paying any attention to, and you're looking back, and so I'm not doing that anymore. I don't need that anymore. So that's like the one of the number one strategies that people can do. Just this what they can do now, actually.
Hit that unsubscribe button and cancel the
Unsubscribe.
auto draft.
Right, right.
Awesome.
Then also for people who are maybe have a local business and they have supplies in their inventory,
Mhm.
and say that they need materials to order in order to create the products. Let's say they can also negotiate with the people that they purchased, or find another vendor that's cheaper, it's just as quality. And so that kind of thing, those are little strategies that you can do that can just immediately increase your profitability. So those are the two that stand out.
That's awesome. Yeah, so what I do quarterly, and this was a habit that I got into just from corporate because I did have a CFO that was just like, we had to hit metrics because we were a nonprofit. And so from that, I got into the habit of every quarter, I literally am like, okay, am I subscribed to something, even accidentally? Because sometimes we hit that 99-cent subscribe to the
Hmm.
newsletter or whatever. You never read the newsletter again.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
So
like, I even myself have to catch myself like every month, just look and see what did I what did I subscribe to that I do not really need to continue. So,
and there's so many apps now for some of those things to like
oh
tell
God.
you how many things you're subscribed to. Because most people are like, oh, I'm only subscribed to four, and you find out it's really 14 or something like that.
Right, that is so true.
Awesome. That's a really good tidbit, and I love this. And so you said there are 12 areas that business owners really should look for. Now, in your practice, what percentage gain? Let's say I am all in. What kind of percentage gain can I really expect in that 6 to 12 months? Is it 3 or 4%? Is it 10%? Or does it just depend?
Oh, you mean of your annual revenue?
Hmm.
Oh, gosh, you could double what you're making right now, and
Oh,
sometimes even triple depending on what you're actually doing.
my Home Alone face. What? That is amazing.
And you can, when I work with the people with the software, they can actually look. This is even before they jump in and work with me. They actually look and say, if I did these few things, I would be here in a year. What? And also projects up to 5-year projection too, so they can see long term what it is.
Yeah.
And then the strategies are created in in a roadmap, basically, in order. It actually talks about, okay, do this strategy for a couple weeks and this one next, but you can compress it. Like the one that I did for myself, it was like 4 years to get to where I wanted to be. But that was just kind of, it wasn't really a truthful, not it was truthful, but it was the way that you can do it. You can like compress it for like 2 years. So it ended up being 2 years because some strategies ended up doing in just a few days, actually, when it said do it in a week or so.
In a
So
week or so.
so yeah.
Yeah.
it gives you
Things
that perspective on how you can be, like where you'll be in the next year or two. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I always say, things take up the time you give it, right? Like if you give it 90 days, it's going to take you 89.5, but you would give this 3 days, you're probably going to get it done in 3 days.
right.
That's amazing. So for my AI enthusiasts, because I know right now consulting and coaching is looking a little different with the inclusion of AI, but you
Hmm.
found a way to use the AI and still fill that need. So what is that balance of here's where I introduce AI, but here's where my expertise really matters, where the AI is just not going to touch it? What is
Oh,
that?
well, the thing about AI for me is it helps me, it enhances or helps me speed up what I'm actually doing.
Hmm.
Um, because it can think more quickly, and it's not like you ask it to write something and then just immediately send it out. You tweak it to your voice, and it's like it just gives you something to work with rather than just a blank sheet of just how do I how do I get started. So basically, I think AI just helps you become more enhances you, what you do and who you are, rather than taking over. Because I remember when GPTs just came out, people are all worried that they're gonna only be like robots walking around or something. But it actually just in my experience, it just it just makes the person a little, it raises their value or their even their expertise that they didn't realize. Because a lot of times when I've looked on there and asked it to do something or write something out, I'm thinking, oh, that's true. That is true. So, so it just brings things out when you don't really realize that it, that is part of what you are, because they realize it. You train it actually. You train it to get to know you. And actually, mine is called Suzanne. That's my middle maiden name. So I
Okay.
dropped that name when I got married. So that's how I'm using that middle name by my naming my chat GPT Suzanne.
That's so cool. I think it's so important because the gap is continuing to widen. And I talk to so many women in business, people in business in general, who are still really fearful of using AI in their business because they were like, well, is this cheating or will people still need me? And I'm like, yes, people still need your expertise. The AI is only as smart as the information that we put inside it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you're not asking the right question, or if you don't know how to ask questions, then the AI really is not going to be useful for you at all anyway.
Right. Right. Yes, you
So
definitely have to train it
I
for
have to
sure.
train it. Awesome. I want to pivot just a little bit because fellow musician here, so you were in the orchestra. What instruments did you play and how did you make that pivot from arts to what you're
Oh, wow.
doing now? Yeah.
Well, there's one correction, but I'm still performing with the symphony.
I love this.
Yes. Yes. So I've been coaching for about 10, 12 years,
Mhm.
and but I've been doing music my entire life. So there
Mhm.
was no way I could not to do it anymore because that's part of me.
Yeah.
Um, the part that is my favorite is performing in orchestras, because I just think winds sound so beautiful with strings, including harp. Yes. And so I just really enjoy making an impact on the audience, whether it's making them cry or just taking them out of their world where they are out in outside for just a couple of hours, and then just have either an emotional experience or just be so enthralled and amazed. And then the audience applauding and just showing us their appreciation, that's a lot of that's very fulfilling for me, and I'm sure it is for you too.
Yes, absolutely. I will never give up music to your point. Um, I still perform, of course. That's why the harp is sitting in the background.
That's a
Uh,
great job,
but
right?
I think it brings up a really good point when we are in business, but we also have this passion and we are multi-passionate and multifaceted. How are you balancing the calling to do the work you're doing with the passion that shows up and says, I'm going to perform on stage?
Well, I like to merge the my just my talents in the music and then also in coaching. I sort of I relate a lot of the things that I talk about to music. And
Mhm.
one of the things is collaboration, music, playing music in a group and even in a small ensemble is one of the best collaborative activities ever. And so I sort of relate that to like teaching collaboration in business, where if you have a group of people that are aligned with each other in their personalities and the niche they are in, it would create so much. The result would be so much better than if you had like a bad apple or somebody who doesn't align with everybody. Same thing in music. If somebody's playing the wrong notes all the time, it's very similar in the two aspects, being um, like being aligned with each other versus not being. So the product in the music is the performance and how it sounds to everyone. The product in the in business world is just the whatever it is that they're working on together, it comes out to be the best product they could ever make. Sorry, my voice.
It's okay. It is okay.
So, yeah, so I always like that analogy for business people just talking about music. And then music is just an interesting topic anyway. So when you talk to the business owners about music, their eyes light up like, ah. And when I tell them I play this in a symphony, it's like, oh gosh. So it's kind of a way to differentiate myself from other people who do the same thing as I do. So
Yeah. That's awesome. I talk a lot about brand differentiation, and yes, I have been known to sing during my keynotes
really?
or to make the audience sing with me. I'm like, we all have an A tune. We can all carry a tune. But yeah, I think differentiation in the market is really key. I wanted to go back to something you said earlier that your 12-step process can happen without marketing, but you're not saying don't market, you're saying
Oh, right.
market and do these
Right.
other
And
things.
yeah,
Okay,
because people do market, but you don't for these 12 areas, you don't have to market anymore to increase your profitability. So
gotcha.
you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands more dollars or whatever it is. Like you're still advertising if you want to, but then these other little strategies that don't require it just increase it even more.
Even more. Awesome. That is
Hmm.
so smart. Um, so one of the things that I like to talk about, of course, is being on this faith-filled journey. And I talk about it. I was like, yep, God told me to do this. Um, how are you walking in that God calling, and what was an aha moment or a moment where you knew this is what you're supposed to be doing next or now?
Oh gosh. So this is a good question. Um, so when I was in the Navy band and I
Mhm.
retired from there, and after I retired from there, I knew that the this the normal thing to do is to teach after I teach clarinet. So I did that for a few years, but then I was thinking, gosh, there's got to be something else out there. I mean, it's fun teaching the kids how to play their scales and do little recitals and things, but there's got to be something out there. I just feel like there's something bigger. And I think that's when God told me, yes, keep looking. Keep looking. There is something out there. And so this part of my story is a little bit embarrassing, but after I retired from the Navy, there was the relief of not having to do the physical training and all of that and inspections and all of that. So I was so relieved that I just started eating whatever I wanted to eat. And And I did this for like 7 or 8 years, and I gained a lot of weight. And so then when I went to the doctor, they said I had pre-diabetic. So I said, okay, this is not good. So I just went online and tried to find some way to get healthy again and lose some weight. And I found an online fitness program that had coaches on the in the program that you could pick from. There were about 9 of them, and so you could go through their bios. So I found the perfect one I thought would be the best fit for me. And in a year and a half, I was able to lose that 70 pounds back in a year and a half. And I felt so good that I wanted to help other people feel that good as well. And I didn't know anything about coaching at the time. I just felt like how can I help some of these other ladies that I know that are struggling like I was? And then there was this email that came. This is what God sent me, I'm sure. It was an email that said, "Can you be a health coach?" I went, "Health coach? What is that?" And so they were offering at the time, there was no Zoom at the time. So they were offering a teleseminar of how you can become a health coach and help other people lose weight and become healthy. And I said, I'm in. And so and so it was a year-long course that I took to get certified to become a health coach. And then I did that for about a year and a half. And part of that journey, I two other health coaches and I started a blog talk radio show. Have you heard of blog talk radio? It's rather than being a visual, it's all on the phones, like conference phones, because it was
Mhm.
before before Zoom. So
Right.
we interviewed coaches that I had met through all the little courses I had taken. We interviewed them every week, and it was so transformational, just us interviewing them and just noticing how amazing their expertise was. And so we did this for about 5 years. And then so I was thinking, wow, this is really great. And I got to know some of the coaches. And so some of them said that they felt like they didn't have any clients. They wished they had clients. And at the time I was still doing health coaching. And so I felt like I really wanted to help them. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go out and learn how to help them attract clients because the interviews were just so amazing, and it was just a shame that they can't find people that need them. And so I'd had this clarinet studio, and so I'd been able to get clients that way. So I started by just kind of doing what I knew, and then God said, "Go get some training, some actual
Some
some
actual
real
training.
yes, training on marketing and sales." So I did that, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So and I've expanded from coaches. I was helping coaches that this was back in 2012. And so I started doing that. And then 2016 is when I discovered LinkedIn and how you can actually um, you can build your brand there and meet people on LinkedIn. And so I took some courses on that. And so people kept asking me, so how did your profile looks so good. How did you do this? How do you do that? And so they kept asking me these LinkedIn questions. So I was thinking, maybe I should add LinkedIn to my toolkit. And
Yeah.
so I just kept going, and God was just saying, just go this direction. And I felt it was this passion inside that He was leading me to all these different this journey, weaving around. Like everybody has different journeys at a time. So that's why I actually ended up doing this profitability training and helping people because of that. Just I was, and also the fact that I was coached at the very beginning. So I wanted to be able to coach people and help them increase their profitability because the economy now it's really struggling, and so it's great if somebody can have their own business, can run their own um, whatever expertise they're doing, and they can use that and help the world that way. So that's kind of how it all came to be. That one email, I know God sent that email.
Oh, that is awesome. That's how God was. God said, wait a minute, you had to go through the journey. Would you like to be a health coach? He's so direct.
If he said, "Do you want to be a like a business coach?" I'm thinking, I'm not
Mm-mm.
sure. But at that particular time, I had just finished losing all this weight, and so that was the message that he sent me because
That's
that's where I was at that time.
that's amazing. God will meet us where we are.
Yeah.
Um, what did you have to learn or unlearn about how God shows up in your business when it comes to money or building wealth or serving others that is not what I would call mainstream business strategy?
Oh gosh. Let's see. So wait, can you ask that question one more time? I want to think about this.
Absolutely. What did you have to either learn or unlearn about how to include God in your business when it comes to strategy or profits or building wealth
Oh, oh,
that
oh.
mainstream business would probably not tell you
Oh,
to do?
got it. Okay. So at the very beginning, I was always hesitant. I felt like I wasn't the person that everyone is supposed to be seeing me as. The what is that term? Um, the
The expert or something
well,
else?
well, like as you are the expert, but
You are.
you don't feel like the expert.
Oh,
So
you mean imposter
imposter
syndrome?
syndrome, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so I struggle with that a lot because I was a musician. So what do musicians know about doing what I'm doing right now? So, so as far as what God was, what I had to unlearn was you don't have to like you. I didn't think that having a lot of money was, I mean, I thought that having a lot of money was not good. But
Mhm.
in terms of if you're going to, what you're going to do with it, I learned what you do with it is what God wants you to do, is to give it away or just be a good servant with that money. Because if you don't have enough money, you don't have enough resources to help other people as much as if you did. So that's one of the main things I realize that making money is a good thing because you're helping others while you're doing that. I
Yeah.
guess it's the people who are evil and um, treat it treat it otherwise greedy, that type of person. You're not that. You're helping other people with it. So that's what got me to feel much better about making money with my um, business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Um, were you a talent barrier? I know when I transitioned, quote unquote, even though I'm still a musician, when I transitioned into fully doing this work, I realized how many talents I had been burying or how many talents were transferable. Was that your same experience? I'm like, wait, this is the same thing as this. It just looks, sounds, feels different.
It does. It's just two different worlds that
Yeah.
you get to know one side, one piece really well from when
Hmm.
you're a little kid to now, and then all of a sudden you're starting in something else, and then you're just thinking just the way that you think. It's very similar to how you were thinking as you were doing the first thing, in our case, music, and you just
Right.
apply those things to your new thing, the
Mhm.
business, and it really aligns because that's how you think. Maybe somebody else won't have those types of thoughts, but in terms of just relating it to what you did before, it makes what you're doing new that much more impactful for you and others too, because you're passionate and that makes them passionate about what you're doing too. That's what that's my thought about that for
That's
sure.
so good. That's so good. Um, I've got one-ish final question, who knows, but to the person who says, I'm not sure if I'm called into entrepreneurship. I really think entrepreneurship is like a calling. Like you don't wake up and just quit your job. Do not quit your job. But what would you tell the person that's on the fence and they think that God is calling them into entrepreneurship? What would you tell them?
I would say go pray. Go
Hmm.
pray and really get yourself centered into what it is really is passionate for you. If your job isn't, then just kind of get away from it. Maybe if you want to take a couple of days off work and then just go somewhere where you can just be with yourself, your Bible, and just really center yourself in what is it that is important to you? What do you love? What do you love to be? What do you love to do, have, or be around? So I'm sure that whatever that is, it can be made into helping others and in a business too. So if you love it, something and you're passionate about it, and then you can create a business that's going to help other people, I mean, that's the best. That's the best for sure.
That's awesome. I got one final question then. That was so good.
Oh,
Um, how
can't wait.
have you made God the CEO of your business? What does that look like for you?
Oh, well, I am always trying to be the best that I can be through
Mhm.
God's eyes. So knowing what his what his presence is in my life. Oops, sorry. I can actually just do my daily activities, whether it's personal or whether it's in business, and know that as long as you know that you are following God's word and his just his grace, you know that you're doing the right thing, and that's how I operate really. I try not to do anything that is out of my character, or and my character is aligned with what God says to do, and it's not because oh I got to do what he says. It's just how I'm always that's how I always am. So just being myself, I think, is how I have accomplished that for sure.
That's awesome. That is so good. We are almost at time, but for the people who are trying to figure out, you said double or triple. So I'm going to use what you said. If they're trying to figure out how to double or triple their annual with your 12 steps, how can they get in contact with you to learn more about your resources and this amazing app that you have?
Oh, well, they can go to my website
Okay.
and there's a little button that says, here, you can have this little, I think it's called a simulate, it's called simulator. So a profit accelerator simulator. So
Okay.
you just go to linkedprosperity.com and then you'll see a button that where you can to sign up for your free assessment, business assessment. Well, we'll go through that the software and then just show you how what the potential is if you do these particular strategies. And then you'll get a little report, and so it'll give you a little roadmap on what to do, what next, and everything. So, yeah, just go to my website, and then you can just sign up for schedule a time with me. So it'd be great.
That's amazing. I'm definitely going to drop the link to that in the description of this show so that way the audience has an opportunity to get access to that. I just want to say thank you again so much, Wendy, for joining me this evening on Sybil After Six. Um, so
Thank
glad we could finally connect. My goodness.
I'm so glad you, yes. And you are actually on my LinkedIn newsletter, and I interviewed you. So if you all are on LinkedIn, hopefully, just check out my newsletter, which is called Creating What's Next. And Sybil is in September, right? Oh, no,
September,
no. Or is it
August.
uh,
Was it August?
August? August or September? I
Yeah.
think it's August. Just look through and you'll find her.
So much. Oh my gosh. This has been an amazing episode. Y'all stay tuned for Simple After Six. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe so you can get the latest and greatest on faith, business, and all things sustainability for growing your brand. Till next time. Bye.